Tonight, with seeding on the line in Newark. Delaware, the 2022 winners, host defending champs Charleston right here on the Blue Hens Sports Network. Hello, everyone. I'm Scott Klatskin alongside Bill Harmon here at the Bob Carpenter Center. And, Bill, down the stretch, every game matters so much. For Charleston, they're looking to hold on to that number 1 seed, while Delaware has 4 games to try to climb into a top 4 spot starting tonight.
Well, Scott, with the expansion to 14 teams in the CA this season, it's imperative that you do finish in the top 4. The top 4 means that you get the double bye, which allows you the ability to play just Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to get to the championship and have a much easier route to get there.
And if the Hens can do it, they'll have to continue to rely on Gerald Drumgoole, who was fantastic last week in North Carolina.
Gerald's been playing so well at a high level. He has a wonderful long-range shot. He has a number of different spots out on the court in which to access his range. He can also play really good defense. He plays without fouling. He's long and active. And in certain situations, he can isolate down on the post and back his opponent down and score.
And for Charleston, they'll play 10 players. They'll shoot a lot of threes, but it's one player on the interior that makes the biggest impact. That's 6'10 junior Ante Berzovic.
Ante is a really interesting player. He's versatile, he's long, he's active, an excellent offensive rebounder. He leads the team in scoring and in rebounding. Look for him to be very impactful here tonight. Delaware's got to do a great job on him.
Both teams have won 5 of their last 6 games coming into this one. We've got a heavyweight battle between 2 of the hottest teams in the Coastal Athletic Association, and tip-off is coming up next. Well, we got till we're back. There we go. First 3 made, I'll kind of lead us into, hey, that's our story.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's going to be big, Bill. On Monday night, the defending CAA champion Charleston Cougars won their 20th game of the season and remained atop the league standings. But the Delaware Blue Hens have won 5 of their last 6 and look to keep it rolling tonight. Scott Klatskin, Bill Harmon with you on the Blue Hens Sports Network. We're about to get things started. Let's take a look at the starters for both teams. First for Charleston, Rain Smith. That's a name you'll be hearing a lot tonight. Over 200 three-point attempts on the season. He made 9 in the game in non-conference play. And then Frankie Paulicelli, last year's CAA leader in rebounds. He's keeping it behind the arc this year. 52 threes have been made. There's Pat Kelsey, a champion a season ago with Charleston. He's made the NCAA tournament in 4 of his last 7 seasons, 3 of them with Winthrop before coming over. For the home Delaware Blue Hens, the 2 captains are the forwards. Jair Davis, double-doubles in 4 of his last 5 games, and Christian Ray, one of only 12 players in the nation with 1,000 career points and 1,000 career rebounds. They are led by Martin Inglesby in his 8th season as the head coach of the Blue Hens. A win tonight would surpass last season's win total, and he's got a chance to join Mike Bray, his former coach, as the only coach in UD history with 3 20-win seasons with the Blue Hens, if they can get 3 more this year. We got a matchup of 2 teams that are on the right track heading into March.
Well, they certainly are. This is going to be an up-tempo game. Both teams love to play end-to-end. Charleston in particular has no fear of any long-range shot. A lot of green lights out there, Scott. We're going to really have to keep up tonight. Delaware's three-point defense in conference under 30% at 28.3. We've done a really nice job of getting out into people and forcing them to put the ball on the floor.
Let's get you today's Delaware basketball uniform report, sponsored by Delaware Hair & Company, a proud supporter of the Blue Hens. Look good, play good. Berzovic looking good on the jump, gets it started for Charleston. Their winner in maroon, Delaware in the black alternate jerseys tonight as we get underway. 20-win Charleston, 17-win Delaware here in Newark. And he's going to test that baseline every touch along the post when Berzovic gets it. Policelli a long 3. They'll shoot about 30 of those tonight. And there is the ultimate green light on every single one of the shooters for Pat Kelsey's squad.
So important that Delaware rebounds those long misses.
Drumgoole, he hasn't missed much as of late. Leads the CAA from beyond the arc at 41.5%. He made 8 of them last week in North Carolina. A little breakdown there defensively for Delaware.
Rogers starting for C.J. Fulton, who has a terrific 4.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio. Rogers is really good in the open court. Great job there of attacking.
Drumgoole, a little hesitation. Davis going to let it fly from 3, and he knocks down what is just his 17th make from long range on the year. He's so tough to defend.
And the length of Berzovic is really phenomenal. 6'10", but he plays bigger than that. Christian Ray's really got his hands full.
And the tempo of this one is going to be a lot faster than other league games than you're used to.
Well, they're going to get up and down a lot. They have a lot of green lights, as you've already mentioned. Policelli likes to go into the middle and post up at different times.
Burnham has had a great career so far. Year 3 with Charleston. Used to come off the bench. Now the second leading scorer for this team as a starter.
Christian Ray already doing a nice job on the glass, finalizing the plays inside. Really important that Delaware gets a body on everyone every time.
Niles Lane. No whistle. A late decision on the call there by Michael Lucky. Let's take a look at the last bucket, though, as we get the first foul called on the other end. That's the length of Berzovic.
Ante is really tough driving left. He is a heavy left-hander. You got to force him back into the middle. Christian Ray did a great job the first play, cutting him off on the baseline.
First foul on Charleston. Davis so strong in the post, and he draws one on Ben Burnham that time.
The beauty of Jair Davis, Scott, is that he can back down a variety of players, big and small. He uses that right shoulder there to ward off Burnham inside, keeps the ball away. He's a good ball handler, and then finally Burnham has to reach in. Burnham, really a key player for Charleston. He provides them with so much energy. They're a glue guy.
Jair Davis got Delaware on the board with a 3-pointer. Now from the free throw line, plus 20% this year from the stripe. It's added to about almost 2 points per game to his average with the improved percentage, from 65 to almost 85 this year.
And the other thing he does, Scott, so well is he gets fouled a lot. He draws a lot of fouls. He gets teams in foul trouble. Bigs have to be very careful against him. A little surprising they didn't double him down on that ISO early on.
All 5 belong to Jair Davis. Berzovic on the switch. He had Riley, and that's a bit of a mismatch. The 6'10 center from Croatia taking on the 6'4 Kevin Riley.
Delaware at times will switch likes. Now that was not a like, 6'4 against 6'10, and taking advantage of it was the big man from Croatia.
Now it's Ray's turn to get inside. Working hard, but Berzovic was there for the block.
Berzovic does not block a lot of shots, but he's a long defender, affects shots as much as he does get blocks.
Burnham setting the screen. Burnham pulling the trigger now, and another rebound for Delaware on the misfire again. Charleston likes to let it fly from three, third most threes per game in the nation.
And Scott, they'll shoot it in transition, they'll shoot it in their half-court offense, and every player ultimately has that decision he's got to make. Is this a good shot or a bad shot?
That might have been a bad shot. At least the result was not what Gerald Drungle was looking for, hitting the side of the backboard, although rarely a bad shot when it comes off the hands of Gerald Drungle. 63 makes on the year from downtown.
And he's been shooting it so much better in conference than he did in the non-conference schedule. 41.5% from the three. He was 6 for 12 down at Elon.
Some substitutions for Charleston. C.J. Fulton, who typically starts, has been battling a couple of injuries, so comes off the bench, but doesn't take him too long to come into the game. He's wearing number 12, the point guard, takes care of the basketball, as Bill mentioned. 4.5 assist to turnover ratio. Transferred from Lafayette. Also, James Scott in the contest for Charleston as Rain Smith takes a rare two-pointer. And also Bryce Butler playing now for Charleston, early substitutions. They're going to sub players in and out. A lot of fresh legs for this Cougars team.
They play 10 players over 10 minutes, 9 over 14.
Early 8-5 lead. All 5 belong to the man with the basketball for Delaware. Taking on the shot blocker, James Scott. 36 blocks on the season for the rookie. Policelli dropped it, but he went off the leg of Niles Lane, which will bring us to our first timeout. 15:53 left to go. Just getting started here at the Bob Carpenter Center. Kobe Rogers starting tonight. Got the first bucket. Ante Berzovic got the next.
You know that feeling, right? That blue hen feeling? It's a fight song singing, fountain splashing, Greek life stepping, stone balloon mug having, Klondike Kate's Nacho Tuesday kind of feeling. It's a homecoming touchdown scoring, Deer Park dancing, double march madness bracket, met the maid of honor at my wedding kind of feeling.
Is it like this?
Yes.
What about this?
Oh yeah.
Or even this?
Definitely. It's a pride that swells and makes you buy little baby onesies and has your mamaw crocheting UD blankets at midnight. It's like being a UD record-breaking Super Bowl winning NFL quarterback.
Wait, that's like super specific.
Just go with it, Joe.
All right.
Our time here at UD gave us a home away from home and helped shape who we are today. So no matter where life has taken you or how far we've gone, remember that we are Blue Hens forever.
Hey, grab me one too.
When it comes to the health of you and your family, you want to trust in having the best partner for your well-being. Ranked among the top 50 in the country, that's exactly what you'll find at ChristianaCare. Because you deserve excellence from your physician, specialists, nurses, and staff, with safe and convenient ways to get the care you need. And at ChristianaCare, we add in something special: love. It's at the heart of everything we do, and we do it all for the love of health. Your health.
A couple of games ago, Christian Ray became one of 12 active players in the nation to eclipse 1,000 career rebounds and 1,000 career points. He has been such an amazing addition as a captain to this ball club after coming over from LaSalle. The list of 12, 5 of them are on the Naismith Player of the Year list. He's along Armando Bacot, Zach Edey, Baylor Shearman, Johnny Broom, and Hunter Dickinson. Christian Ray, an amazing career, and he's not done yet here at Delaware.
He is such a smart player. He is always in the right spot. A terrific team player. One of the best IQs of any player I've ever talked about at the University of Delaware. Just a great young man from Gap, PA.
You know what you're going to get out of Christian Wright every single night. It is effort, it is intensity. It's a whole lot of rebounds as well. Foul on the floor, the first against Delaware. Substitution for Delaware, as they typically do at the first media timeout. Tyler Hauser and Jalen Trent coming into the ball game. Jalen Trent coming off of a very good game against North Carolina A&T on the road. Delaware's win last Saturday had 10 points. Only 2 in doubles in that game against the Aggies. He was one of them.
Well, out of bounds play that actually fooled Jair Davis, but he quickly got himself in the right position out the backside to Bryce Butler. A heads up play by Jair once he recognized what was happening.
Delaware down by 3. No one has scored yet beyond Jair Davis. They'd love to get Kevin Riley going. He's shooting just 21% from 3 over the last 3 ball games. Kick ball there by C.J. Fulton.
Scott, when Delaware is at their best offensively, they're going to move the ball side to side a couple of times. Then they're going to get into their action. So they run some false motion. They do a lot of cutting. They can do some screening action and watch for ball screens at the end of the shot clock.
Trent, spin move on Policelli and gets to the cup.
Trent is dynamic when he can make that spin move and get downhill. Scott, a great shot blocker, was fooled.
I asked Jalen Trent, where did you develop that spin? That's his patented move, that spin move that he just achieved to the rim as Crawford lets it fly. He said he came up with it in Arizona when he was at junior college before getting to North Dakota, and now finally a Blue Hen. Kevin Riley makes it 5 straight for Delaware.
The key was Jalen Trent pushing the ball and then finding Kevin Riley in the far corner with a terrific skip pass. That's what you want to do, attack Charleston before they can set up.
Now a lob from Fulton, put it right where only James Scott could get it. Going back to Riley making the 3. He had made just 3 of his last 14 in his previous 3 games. Maybe that will get him going a bit. A great sharpshooter for this squad, but he's been cold.
He's a streak shooter. He needs to get to his spots and he needs to get his feet set.
Gerald Drumgoole, and now Delaware, after that first media timeout, a little bit settled in, getting to the rim.
They certainly are, and I love it when Drumgoole changes up after a couple long-range misses and attacks the basket.
Butler came over from Division II West Liberty. Pat Kelsey going to that well again. He got a couple of players a season ago, Dalton Bolin and Pat Robinson from D2 West Liberty. Butler now the same, and he can see Drumgoole getting past his man.
Policelli's going to leave the game, but that was a really smart play for the veteran. I've been to a couple different schools. Stony Brook and Dayton did a nice job there of drawing the foul.
Third foul on Delaware. Fulton not a big scorer, but he facilitates for this team.
Such a crafty player, Scott. He's got a great handle, great decision maker, throws the right pass at the right time.
4 assists per game. Butler. Shot over Davis is strong, tipped around. And an offensive board out to Crawford all day to line it up.
And there's the difference. Fulton, a guard, getting himself inside. Nobody from Delaware blocked him out. That's what you've got to do. They send 4, sometimes even the shooter to the glass, does Charleston. You've got to be so alert on the glass. First
make from distance for Charleston. They average a little bit over 10 makes from 3 per game.
They're a man-to-man team, play very little zone. They don't like to switch a lot. Delaware will do more switching, but Charleston loves to stay with their man.
Riley a turnover, and a rare turnover from C.J. Fulton right back. Riley took it away after he coughed it up.
Riley, a really crafty defender, uses his hands extremely well, always around the ball and very active.
It is so rare to get a turnover from C.J. Fulton. He had 4 in the opener, 4 for St. Joseph's, and 3 against Monmouth. He has only turned the ball over 11 other times in 24 more games.
It is unbelievable, but here's the key, Scott. He plays at a wonderful pace. He's got a great handle, and he knows exactly where he's going to go with the ball. His teammates understand where to be for him, and he always makes the right pass.
A little change of the call there as the officiating crew getting together. Michael Lucky, Jeff Clark, Tim Smith are officials tonight, and it's Charleston basketball.
Really good crew, and they're going to need to have on their running shoes tonight to keep up with this down and back. A lot of possessions. this evening.
Charleston, the fastest team in terms of pace of play in the conference.
And they'll push it at all costs, and they don't even mind sometimes if you get a quick basket at the other end because they just want to get back on offense. A lot of movement to their offense, transition a big part.
Rogers loves to get downhill, and that's the second time tonight already he's gotten a point in the paint.
2 mistakes by Delaware on those drives, and that's one thing you see, and we talk about so much the three-point shot, but here tonight they've been driving the ball at Delaware's defense.
Drumgoole wants it in the corner, and Lane gets a foul called against Charleston, the third on the Cougars.
And let me expand on that point, Scott. One of the problems, Delaware does not have a true rim protector. And here's Rogers on a crossover. There's no help in the lane. Hauser, even though he's a little bit taller, couldn't rotate across in time, and Charleston will continue to take advantage of that.
Trent operating as the point guard. Spinning again, this time into traffic, sends it out to Lane. Lane, a lot of dribbling for the Hens, almost lost it twice. Now Drumgoole does turn it over, and you can see that brewing. Couple hesitation dribbles from Khalil London. When he's in, he likes to initiate the offense. Burnham to the cup.
Delaware's going to need to do a better job of packing people in the lane, and that's what happens when you're out trying to defend the three. And I think Charleston's done a nice job of adjusting and taking advantage of that.
A 7-0 run for Charleston. Drumgoole trying to stop it. He's going to be short. Ray in the right spot for the putback. And one, Christian Ray.
And that's Christian Ray at his best. As an offensive rebounder, one of the best times to rebound the ball is on an air ball because the defense is looking to block out. You see where it's being missed to. He moves himself very quickly to the spot and does a great job of finishing through contact. And that's Christian Ray at his best, Scott. That's why he has 1,000 and 1,000.
The Delaware Basketball Injury Report is sponsored by Christiana Care. Do your part. Get your flu shot this season to help keep you, your family, and your community safe and healthy. 3 out for the Hens. Gabe Moss, Zion Bethea out for almost the entire season. Bethea missed the first 16 games and each of the last 8. Houston Emery, a new addition to the injury report, though. He's out, boot on his right foot for tonight. Houston has played in 9 games this year. 25 minutes total on this season. As we went to break, Christian Ray doing Christian Ray things. He leads the CAA in rebounding, 9 rebounds per game, but only 6'6", which is absolutely amazing, and he put one back in off a drum goal 3 miss.
He is so relentless on the glass at both ends, but especially on offense. He's always moving, getting himself in position, understands where the shot's going to be missed to. If you ever want to watch how to offensive rebound, come and watch Christian Ray play.
Christian Ray can become, if he continues it, as there's a turnover for Charleston, if he continues his pace as the league leader in the CAA, he can become the first player under 6'7" to lead the CAA in rebounds per game since 2015. Terry Tarpey did it for William and Mary. It's outstanding what he's able to do at his size.
Maybe that vegan diet we're all going to have to try that he's instituted a couple years ago. He is lean and quick and unbelievably athletic.
Plant-based athlete. Christian Ray dropping one off to drum goal. No whistle. A late call. Michael Lucky calls it on Ante Berzovic. And it'll be drum goal at the free throw line. Pat Kelsey getting the explanation. Let's take a look.
Well, Berzovic thought he did a good job of going straight up, and he did, but I think he caught him with his left hip. His Jair roll, and Berzovic was underneath in the arc area, so that's probably what Michael Lucky saw, and Pat Kelsey did not like that call at all.
Now, Gerald Drumgoole does just about everything right for this Blue Hens team, but free throws is the only area where he needs vast improvement. Just 63% from the line, and he shoots so well from the field, so well from the three-point arc. It is amazing.
It's got to be concentration with Gerald, Scott. He just is too good a player, too good an athlete to miss that, especially when he's getting to the free throw line as much as he is.
Here's Rogers off to a good start, getting the actual start for Pat Kelsey's team, for C.J. Fulton for the second straight game. An offensive rebound by...
This Burnham is really quick and athletic. He's really hard to guard. He's always moving.
Along the baseline, throws it to Jalen Trent. Hens can retake the lead.
Typically, Charleston a better ball handling team. Both teams average just about 10 turnovers a game and 14 assists.
Man down for Charleston. Drumgoole along the baseline, over 2. Another offensive rebound for Christian Ray, this time using his left.
He keeps the ball active, and above him, a great tip in with that wide open left hand.
Hauser attacked Berzovic, and Berzovic with a burst past him.
If nothing else, you think you might try to send Berzovic to his right hand. He is just so clever driving down the lane. Charleston getting to the basket much more often than they normally do.
3 lefty starters for Charleston.
Well, that really makes it a difficult guard. You've got to really have that scouting report riveted in your mind, and they come at you in a lot of different ways.
And very quickly, early shot clock threes, A-OK with Pat Kelsey.
No problem there. He has given everybody on the team the green light, especially in transition. Rain Smith is absolutely the one that takes advantage of it more than anyone.
Drumgoole averaging almost 14 points per game on the year. Niles Lane has been off from threes, now made only 2 of his last 10 after that one.
Well, you'll see Charleston in 5 out. Sometimes they'll go put Berzovic in the post, but generally they want to play out on the perimeter, space you. Berzovic, a really good passer out of the post if he's doubled.
Berzovic on Hauser. Hauser gets called for the foul. It'll be Berzovic at the free throw line where he shoots 63%.
What makes him so difficult to guard? He's long, he's a good ball handler. He keeps the ball away, uses his body and his power to keep Hauser off, and then he gets fouled. But getting to his left hand is really important. You've got to cut that off and at least make him step to the baseline.
Ante Berzovic, 2023 third team All-CAA, preseason first team selection. And when you look at this Charleston team and you dig into the stats, and we're preparing for the game, they lead the league in scoring, but no one on the team in individual points per game in the top 15 in overall points per game. And so Pat Kelsey, who you see on the screen, just divides the playing time up, keeps them fresh, and for that reason they don't have a 20-point score. Berzovic has hit that mark 3 times, but
well, they've already played
even.
10 guys, and they're going to play at least 10 minutes a game unless there's an injury. And I think that keeps them fresh, No starter really plays much over 30 minutes, so they can be really tough in the end game, and that's where they've been excelling through the last couple years with Kelsey as the head coach.
Davis back in. He had the first 5 for Delaware. Has not scored since. Can't change it there. But Trent so active already in this first half. Kick out to Drumgoole. Drumgoole strokes one from downtown.
When Gerald can get his feet set, he's as good a three-point shooter as anybody around.
Crawford not waiting for anyone. The miss. An offensive board by Charleston. Now Policelli in the painted area. Leaves it short. Christian Ray, that's what he can bring for the Blue Hens. A point forward from rebound to layup on the other end.
The versatility of Christian Ray really makes Delaware go. They can play that smaller lineup. He can bring the ball up after a rebound, and an excellent distributor. That time he just took it all the way. That left hand of his really hurting Charleston.
Fulton drops it off for Butler. And a nice pass from the junior from Ireland.
Well, Fulton knew he was too far underneath the basket, and he's just so unselfish. Not only does he throw the right pass at the right time, but his execution and his eye vision is so good. He knows where every teammate is.
Drumgoole going to try again. Drills another!
That was a Charleston heat check. Made the other one on the other side of the court. He could do it off the spot, off the dribble.
Delaware on a 14-5 run here at home against the Cougars. Berzovic getting in deep, spinning. Off the window and through for the 6'10 center.
He's so methodical in his approach. Delaware might want to change up and try to run a little help at him. He's just getting to that right shoulder, left hand, and uses the backboard very smartly to soften up the shot.
Trent loses it. Diving for the ball is Butler, but Trent picks it up. Davis straight away 3. Strong that time, and a whistle on the floor. The Hens are hot thanks to Christian Ray and the sharp shooting of Gerald Drumgoole. A 2-point lead for the hometown Hens.
Do you know what a blue hen is? It's prideful, spirited, fiery. A blue hen never backs down from a challenge. And we're there to support them. Delaware Orthopedic Specialist, the official orthopedic partner of University of Delaware Athletics.
It's there in his passion to teach and help his students create, and there in helping her students stay focused on a task and get it right. It's also in that moment when she accomplishes a goal she's been working on for weeks, or in that nudge of encouragement that motivates her to learn. Student success in Delaware Public Schools is built on these individual stories happening every day, and it's driven by teachers and education support professionals working together to give every student the attention they need to be successful in life.
For over 40 years, Delaware Hospice has helped families cope with the overwhelming stress that accompanies a loved one's serious illness. Our team of compassionate experts gives you the freedom to focus on what matters most, spending time with loved ones. Our community outreach programs provide non-medical resources during a serious illness, and if you need in-home support during treatment, our palliative care team will work side by side with your physician to manage symptoms. You can count on Delaware Hospice because we're more than hospice, giving you the freedom to focus on what matters most.
We made them safer with available active driver assistance programs. We made them more intelligent with a touch and voice assistant.
I'm switching on the massage.
We made them more customizable with adaptive AI. And we also made them seriously fun to drive. Mercedes-Benz SUVs.
Delaware with a 2-point advantage over Charleston, holding the Cougars to 1 of 6 from beyond the arc, but Charleston getting it done in the paint thanks to Ante Berzovic.
He plays at such a good pace. He's long. He holds the ball away from his opposition. He can finish inside because of his toughness and his length. Here he takes Christian Ray in, a little bump, creates some space. He uses the backboard, a very clever player, plays at a nice methodical pace, a really good passer out of the post as well if he does get doubled.
Brzovic, the team leader in points and rebounds, 12.6 points per game on the season, and he's almost in double figures already. But the Hens with the basketball on a 2-point lead. Come out of the timeout. Jalen Trent loves to spin along that baseline, instead takes it into the paint, and he loses it. A turnover for Delaware.
A lot of bodies on the floor for Charleston. They're really winning the first to the floor battle right now with Delaware on the loose balls.
Fulton to the lane. Doesn't look for his shot much, but no one stop ball.
Continue to hurt Delaware with the drives down the lane from both sides and the back in, back down post ups by Brzovic.
C-Ray on the attack with Brzovic not in front of him that time. He went inside, missed it. An offensive board for Delaware. Back out to Trent. Trent taking on all comers and scoring +1.
Isn't this the Jalen Trent we saw earlier in the season, Scott? He's being very aggressive, using his patented spin move, finding lanes. He's got a great angle of attack here. Down the lane, uses his body well, unafraid to take on bigger people inside. And with that Brzovic in there, though Scott is a good shot blocker, he just warded him off because of the thin frame of Scott.
And you saw that energy at the end, pumping himself up, pumping his teammates up, and now he's bleeding on his right arm. Trainer Paul Lowry gonna have to help him out. Jalen's got a cut on that right arm. Not an injury, but just a stoppage for some bleeding. And you talked about the Trent we saw maybe in non-conference play. He was named Mid-Major Madness National Player of the Week and certainly CAA Player of the Week after his 27-point performance on the road in a big win over Xavier from the Big East. Pat Kelsey was upset that night. That's his alma mater, the head coach of Charleston, that Delaware was able to beat on the road. But Trent certainly capable of adding that to the Blue Hens. Talk with Coach Inglesby, who you see there. Earlier in the week, he said before that A&T game where Trent played so well, just sat him down, talked about simplifying some things, and it's paid dividends for Jalen Trent now in a game and a half after that conversation.
I think the confidence that Martin Inglesby and the rest of the staff gave Jalen Trent. He's coming off the bench now. Drumgoole has now started for the 11th game in a row for Trent. Trent gets in and still gets his minutes, but I tell you what, he's so explosive. He's playing with great energy tonight. He really knows how to get to his best moves. A lot of players have that move but can't sometimes produce it. I think Trent is very sharp here. It's going to be important because Delaware's bench, shortened as with those injuries, probably only going to play 8 at the most. Right now just 7, and Charleston has already played 10.
Talk about bench production. Charleston 7th in the nation in bench scoring, nearly 32 points per game. Delaware is 11th in the conference, only 15 points per game, but 4 already from this guy at the free throw line, Jalen Trent. And he misses on the free throw. Delaware has not been shooting well, 64% from the line over the last 8 games. Smith, you know, he doesn't shoot a whole lot of twos. 27 on the entire season in 27 games, but he's made 2 in the paint tonight.
I think he forgot for a number of games where the 2-point line was, but though we talk about Rain Smith as a great long-range shooter, they're taking advantage of what Delaware's defense is giving him, a driving lane.
Wes Peterson playing some first half minutes as of late for Delaware. In the game, we're number 24. Drumgoole, pull up, Jay over Burnham. Scott the rebound, and Charleston likes to push after misses.
The only one on the court that doesn't seem to have the green light or want to use it is Fulton.
Fulton, a 34% three-point shooter, but as you mentioned, only 67 tries on the year. Burnham, a miss. Fulton, his second offensive rebound. He is active on the offensive glass.
Yes, he is, and they send 4 players to the glass, and Delaware's got to know that. And a wonderful spot-up shot. I'll tell you what, this Burnham can really play, Scott. He's so versatile. He kind of reminds me of Christian Ray. He's got that energy, the smarts, and the ability to shoot from range.
Both teams shooting it well. Trent, his shot blocked. James Scott was there, as was Burnham. Scott, 36 blocks, fourth in the CAA. He's not even first amongst freshmen, though, thanks to Jarrett Valencia at Monmouth. I like seeing Trent, though, attacking the rim.
Oh, absolutely. He's got to do that. Scott, known for his mobility, but not his bulk inside. He's got a lot of work to do in the weight room. 6'11", 210, freshman.
Double block that time. Burnham got it, and then it was Scott, the freshman. Still Delaware basketball. Davis going to let it fly for the third time from long range. Davis made the first, has now missed his last two from distance. Only a 26% three-point shooter on the year.
Well, the expansion of Davis's game to the three certainly gives him some versatility, but if he's a little off, I think you'll see him go back into the mid-range.
Kobe Rogers looking for his shot, was fouled. He'll shoot a pair when we come back. Charleston up 31-28 here at the Bob Carpenter Center as we close out half number one. It's all leading up to the CAA Men's Basketball Championship down in Washington, D.C., starting on March 8th. The last two CAA champions playing tonight. 2022 winners, Delaware, last year's defending champion. The Charleston Cougars are up by 2. The CAA basketball standings are sponsored by Easter Seals of Delaware and Maryland's Eastern Shore, celebrating 75 years of creating an inclusive community, and we're just getting started. Delaware trying to climb the ladder into that all-important top 4 spot.
Well, it really is because of the double bye, the availability of not playing for the first 2 days. You get to rest, you know who you're exactly going to play. You can start to prepare a little bit sooner than others. So it's really an important thing to get there. Some other big games in the CA later on we'll talk about, but this one is hugely important, especially from Delaware's perspective.
There is one game, as you saw, separating second place and 6th place. So the final week of the season is really going to be important for all of these teams. Such an advantage to start your tournament on Sunday as opposed to Saturday in the first round.
About the change up here, Delaware's taken 12 threes and Charleston only 8. So Delaware's doing a nice job of defending the three-point line.
And so made 4 of them. Kevin Riley can't make it 5. And that should be out on Scott. It will be Delaware basketball with 3:19.
Well, Kevin's known as a spot-up shooter, meaning he gets his feet set. He has to have teammates facilitate him. That time he played off the dribble. He usually does that to get into the mid-range, very rarely from the three-point line.
And Ray threw it right to Kobe Rogers, who snuck in front. Couldn't get to go in transition, though. Scott was there for an O-Reb. Nearly a steal for Delaware's leader in that category, Kevin Riley, but he'll stay with the Cougars.
Well, we talked about the rebounding prowess of Charleston, and they continue to do that. That's their 5th offensive rebound, 4 times on 2-pointers, only 1 long-range shot run down, but it's still been a big difference in the game.
Rain Smith has been quiet from distance. Kobe Rogers, a little hesitation. Trent stays with him. Solid defense by the hands. Jair Davis grab a defensive board. Davis made his first shot. He's been cold since. Lane takes it to the rim, and Niles Lane, that's where he's at his best, attacking in close.
A great driver, a great player at the rim. He can use both hands extremely well.
Rain Smith just threw it in the air, knowing that he had 6'11" freshman James Scott underneath.
And that's one of the problems when you're extending to defend the 3, but also you don't have that big man in there for rim protection. Biggest player on the floor for Delaware, Davis at 6'7".
And that's all he does, dunks and layups. He shoots 81% on the year.
Well, he knows his game, and he does it pretty well for a young player. He's going to be a really good one for Pat Kelsey.
Lane, he shoots it pretty well also, 57% on 2-pointers, and he's got the last 4 for the head.
Lane's got the ability to explode at the rim and then play methodically in the mid-range.
Can't give Charleston easy looks like that one in the corner from Khalil London, his 17th make from distance on the year, and that's that patent move we were talking about from Jalen Trent.
So quick, so explosive, knows exactly where the defender is. That athleticism he gets by, and then his ability to finish in and around the rim with different hands. Amazing young player who I think is playing one of his best games since the Xavier game.
And a timeout taken on the floor as we take a look at Jalen Trent with a spin.
Boy, is he quick, and those long arms, he's able to finish on the front side before the shot blocker could get there. That's Jalen Trent at his best.
We're 1:45 away from halftime. Don't go anywhere when we get to the break. Women's basketball head coach at the University of Delaware, Sarah Jenkins. She's mastered all things basketball, so she wanted to try her luck on the softball field, and I don't think it went as well as it would have on the hardwood for Sarah Jenkins, but always a good time with our women's basketball head coach, Jenkins. There's our men's basketball head coach, Martin Inglesby, one of just 4 active CAA coaches with 50 wins in league play. He is 3 wins away from 20 on the year. If he gets there, he'll join Mike Bray, who used to coach him in college, as the only head coach to do that 3 times with Delaware. Out of the timeout. London, who just made a 3, gets it inside to Berzovic, who's 4 of 4, now 5 of 5.
That long left arm, really tough. They had an initial switch with Kevin Riley, and Christian Ray got back to him, but Christian Ray at 6'5.5", just too tough. That length of Berzovic taking advantage of that.
Davis calling for it. Wants to take on Burnham, instead sends it to Lane. Lane, pocket picked, falls on it. Trying to get the ball back, does so to Riley. Riley, and a reach-in foul eventually called on Charleston. Probably could have called a few of them. That's 8 on the Cougars, so Riley will shoot the 1-and-1.
That was a tough guy play by Kevin Riley. Put his whole body in there, and that's what you're taught to do. He went back talking about Martin Inglesby earlier. That point guard was so savvy. He was a tough one. I just remember him playing way back at the turn of the century, and he was tough. First to the floor, drew charges when they were called a lot more. Kevin Riley, I think, playing exactly how his coach wants him to play.
Riley is 76% free throw shooter on the season. Knocks in the first. They'd love to see Cavan get going. Over the last 10 games, Cavan under 10 points for 4 in a row, over 10 points for 3 in a row, currently under 10 for his last 3. They'd like to have him start a new streak. Delaware at their best when they get 4 guys in doubles. And it doesn't have to be the same 4 each time, and usually it's not. But when Jair and Riley, Ray, and a combination of Lane, Drumgoole, and Hauser even could get into double figures, that's when Delaware is at their best, when multiple guys are doing it.
It's the balance. It makes it difficult to guard just one person. You cannot focus solely on Jair Davis. He's also a very good passer down there, as is Berzovic here, as he gets going inside with his right hand. First miss of the evening.
And under a minute, Delaware with the basketball. 4-point lead for the Cougars. Butler, the D2 transfer, defending Jair Davis. A double comes to Trent. Lane attacking again. Cannot get it to roll. And a foul on the rebound called against Delaware. Just the 6th on UD. So Charleston did not get into the bonus in the first half.
When Delaware's at their best defense, not only do they move their feet and they're a really good positional team, but they play excellent defense without fouling, and that's really one of the keys, especially in a close game. You keep your best players on the floor, you don't have to sit, and obviously you don't let the team get into the one-on-one.
Pat Kelsey going to use the use it or lose it timeout, draw something up with the shot clock turned off, 21.3.
Well, one of the things that Charleston has taken advantage of is Delaware's inability to defend in the lane. They don't have a shot blocker, but they've been expanding out to guard the three-point shooters, which Charleston has so many of. And here Berzovic continues to work, but his only miss is when he was forced to turn back to his left shoulder and his right hand. His other 4 makes were with his left hand and his right shoulder. So good defensive changeup by Christian Raid to force Berzovic into his first miss. 5 for 6 from the field. Plays at a wonderful pace.
Saw Pat Kelsey coaching it up. 7th 20-win season of his career. Had 5 at Winthrop and his 2nd now at Charleston. See what he drew up for the final 20 ticks of the first half.
This might be the longest Charleston's held the ball all season long.
It's safe in that man's hand. C.J. Fulton, or maybe I spoke too soon. Trenton nearly took it away. 6 seconds now for Berzovic. 4 seconds. Rain Smith hasn't gone to 3 in the first half. He waited for the final seconds to do it. And Charleston's largest lead comes at the buzzer. So Charleston, thanks to a buzzer beater by Rain Smith, his 80th on the season, will go into the locker room up 43-36. The third make from long range in the first half. A battle here at the Bob Carpenter Center. It's halftime. We'll be back in a moment on the Blue Hens Sports Network.
I think I'm long overdue. I think I should have had a show for a long time because I'm actually really funny and I am really funny. Okay. Okay.
The first thing I think of when I think of Coach Jenkins is laughing. Like, just jokes.
Eat on 3, 1, 2, 3. Eat. Tara, put your hair up so you don't look like you're off.
What does that have to do with anything?
Put it up. Danae, where'd you get the headband? She just exudes love, you know, like she's always about hugging people, caring for people, making sure everyone is being better for themselves and for others. We want every person that interacts with our program, that comes to a practice, that comes to a game, every kid on our team, you want them to feel loved and to feel that they're important and to feel like they matter. And that's something that we preach every day. And that's kind of, you know, the focus of our culture and what we do. But we have a lot of fun. I mean, I keep telling you, I'm really funny. Almost doesn't count, baby. I come to work early so that I could get my work done, because when she comes to work, my day's over. So when she's at work, I spend probably 75% of my day in her office. So if I'm not in her office, she's screaming down the hall, Danae, Danae, you know.
Our team matches her personality. We take that love, that energy, and we put that on the floor and with each other and then off the court as well.
She'll call me, or she'll send me some stupid text, or she'll scream my name down the hall. I got an idea. And she has like that goofy little look, like, I got an idea. And so I'm like, oh Lord, I'm scared of what it's gonna be, but it always ends up being something really funny. I had this idea in mind of going out there, doing those softball drills. I mean, I knew I was gonna be terrible at it, but I wanted them to be a lot worse than they were. This is hard. Sarah's either screaming in my office, or Sarah is screaming at me, or there's something loud going on in my office, and softball always turns that corner and comes and sees us. So just building that relationship within our office, and that's how we got to this idea of having our staff play softball. Good luck watching that.
Yeah.
But what do I do? Nothing right now?
Nothing right now.
Okay. Did I look athletic? So it kind of made me mad because they weren't that bad, but it was fun, you know. They still have that athletic piece to them. I've lost all athleticism in my old age. A lot of her ideas are definitely, you know, they're all about building relationships and building community. So like, she came up to me, she's like, I want to do a dance, and I'm like, okay. She's like, can you find out if dance could do a dance? They'll do a dance with us. I was like, okay. So then it turned out to be really great.
She is, I think she knows her limitations.
I was like, actually this year the dance is a lot easier, so I feel like, because I'm a terrible dancer, but I feel really comfortable with it, so I think we'll be really good.
So she's not gonna be like up front, center, solo, but she also does want to be seen. So you'll see she has a little like entry piece, you know, where she's kind of front and center. But she does take it seriously.
To the top, people!
She says she like reviews the tape. We film it, and she says she practices it. So she's very serious about getting it right, but she does know her limitations.
I think I get on their nerves sometimes because I always want to hang out. We're a dysfunctional family, but it's all love at the end of the day.
This last 12 to 18 months has been an incredible amount of fun. I've had the opportunity to meet with CEOs, business leaders, community leaders across the entire state. It is a responsibility to be connected with our community and our businesses. And so those types of activities are bringing your employees to games and celebrating being a team. Creating opportunities to hire our student athletes, either as an intern or in a job. And you know, it's one of the things that makes this state so special. Working together, elevating together, and ultimately winning together. Also an opportunity for us to be able to highlight your businesses and what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve within your business strategy. How can you activate Delaware Athletics? How can you activate our student athletes to really bring to life what you're trying to achieve within your own business strategies? One of the things that was really clear is how important it is to them to invest in the community. That is exactly one of the things that Delaware Athletics and Recreation is incredibly focused on, is how do we make a difference in our community? So the idea of being able to do that together is also something that is really pretty awesome, in my humble opinion, to be able to identify ways in which we can work together to serve our community together. As many of you know, we had our inaugural annual 302 tour this year, starting out in Dewey Beach, and we took 3 days, and it was awesome. So we are in the planning stages of the second annual 302 tour, and we certainly hope that you will all be interested in participating in whatever way makes the most sense for you. So thanks so much. Look forward to working with you, and go Hens and go 302.
All right.
At the half, Charleston leads it 43-36 over the Delaware Blue Hens. The students are here cheering on their hometown Hens, looking for a comeback in the next 20 minutes. We'll have it for you on the Blue Hens Sports Network.
Delaware Imaging Network is Delaware's most trusted and preferred imaging provider. When you need fast, accurate results, trust the team of experts at Delaware Imaging Network.
Through 20 minutes here in Newark, Delaware, the #1 ranked team in the conference, Charleston, has built up a 7-point advantage in the first half over Delaware. Let's take a look at how they got there. It's not what you may think. A lot of points inside the paint.
Well, Charleston's done a great job of taking advantage of driving lanes. Rain Smith, a lefty, gets down where he wants. Fulton with a fairly fine pass to the freshman Scott. Here's Bertovich doing a nice job of getting into the lane. He's a lefty as well. Delaware's got to find a way to kind of cut off some of those driving lanes. And here's Gerald Drumgold, who does this often, and when he does, he's always successful. He's a great spot-up shooter as well. We talked about in the pregame show with his range. He can do it off the spot and off the dribble. A very versatile player. They're going to need him to come up big in the second half.
As we look at the first half stats, Bill, what stands out to you?
Well, the fact that I think the rebounds are fairly even, 4 turnovers, 8 assists for Charleston, but the big news is the shooting percentage, almost 55%. That's the ability of them to drive down the lane. And the Charleston defense has done a pretty good job of limiting Delaware's opportunities, shooting at only 42%. The three-point shot by Rain Smith at the end of the half, I think, is a big one, and it could be a big momentum shift for Charleston.
We welcome you back into the Bob Carpenter Center at the half here in Newark. I'm Scott Klatskin, and I'm with the 2023 Sportscaster of the Year in the state of Delaware, Congratulations, Bill.
Scotty, you're way too kind. I appreciate that, but you've won it more times than I could even imagine. So thank you very much, but it is a great honor, and I really appreciate it.
I've been riding your coattails when I have, and I did just want to say on camera to all of our viewers how much of a joy and a pleasure and an honor it is to work with a talent like yourself on these broadcasts.
Well, you're way too kind, but I could not ask for a better partner than you, my friend.
All right, well, let's show some of those talents right now and talk about some analysis for Delaware. What do they have to do to make this closer ball game in the second?
Well, we certainly have to be able to do a better job of staying in front of these drivers. Roger, London, they've really done a good job of getting where they want. Brzovic, we've got to force them to their weak hands. We've still got to be able to defend a 3, but we've got to be there. We're not going to get a lot of rim protection with our size, but we've got to at least level them off and make them take tougher shots.
How about Delaware's Jair Davis? How can he be more involved offensively?
Well, I'm surprised we haven't posted him up a little bit more, and I think Jair is at his best when he can play in the post and then move to the mid-range, and let's see if we don't get him in some of that open side screening action where it's just he and another player. They roll him not all the way to the basket, but what's called a short roll, get him a chance to get some of those 15-foot shots.
This one important as all games around the CAA are down the stretch, and here's why. Charleston looking to hold on to that #1 seeding, 11-3 in the CAA, and Delaware, by way of some tiebreakers, find themselves as the 6th seed. They have lost their only game to Hofstra on the year, and because Towson has beaten Charleston, they own the tiebreaker despite splitting with Delaware on the year. The goal for all of those teams we just saw to try to get a double bye and start your tournament down in D.C. on Sunday as opposed to a Saturday start.
Well, it's so much easier that way. You only have to play 3 games. Always difficult, as we all know, to win 4 in a row. Hard enough to win 3 in a row. But you got to rely on your bench, and that's one of the reasons Delaware would love to get to Sunday only to start, because they play such a short bench. Charleston, it doesn't worry them as much. They're playing 10.
Much harder to win 4 games in 4 days than 3 in 3, as both of these teams have done in recent years. Charleston last year, the 2023 CAA champions. Delaware won it in 2022, and both teams huddling up as we prepare for the second half of basketball here on the Blue Hens Sports Network. Leading scorers in the first half. Drumgool's got 9 for Delaware. Christian Ray has 7, 11 for Ante Brzovic, and 7 for Rain Smith. He took his first 3-point attempt of the first half with mere seconds left on the clock, and he drilled it as he usually does.
Charleston did a great job of utilizing the clock at the end. That was a pin down screen as Rain Smith came from the low block on the left side up top. He gets his feet set so quickly. He's got an unbelievably fast release. Hard to defend, but you've got to stay locked on him. He cannot get going here in the second half. He's very difficult to defend because of his terrific movement patterns.
Hens wearing black jerseys. Charleston in the maroons. I'm Scott Klatskin. Alongside Bill Harmon, we are underway for second half action. Delaware with the basketball first, down by 7. And as they do most games in the first half, they'll go start the second half with a set to Jair Davis. Drumgool working hard but could not finish.
Nice move there by Jair Davis to draw some attention, and then the kick out to Drumgool, who drove in. There's Policelli, who did not score in the first half, comes down in rhythm. He is a long-range shooter as well. That was NBA logo.
Policelli has kind of changed up his game here at Charleston. Led the CAA in rebounding a year ago. He played at Stony Brook, transferred within the conference to Charleston, and now hanging out around that 3-point line.
Boy, you like Policelli's game if you're a Charleston Cougar fan. He plays at a wonderful pace, very strong, very collected, unbelievably experienced. A great addition for Pat Kelsey.
And Kelsey starting Rogers in the second half. Starters on the floor for both teams. Brzovic trying to get that left hand. Burnham gets stripped by Davis, hangs on, and the whistle is a foul on Davis. It looked like Tim Smith might have been calling for a held ball, but Michael Lucky called the foul on Davis.
Well, one of the attributes of Burnham's game that I like so much is he is a righty, but he can drive with both hands, and he's very physical when he gets in there. He jumps extremely well, got a big body, just got held, he was going up.
Burnham is 67% free throw shooter. A lot of energy, a lot of effort, similar to how we described Christian Ray for Delaware.
They're almost identical players, and I just love the way they go about it. Burnham a little bit more of a three-point shooter than Christian Ray, but all the other attributes, just they're winners, and they always do everything they can to help their team win.
Delaware down by their largest margin, and Riley can't get that one to drop. A 10-point lead for the Cougars, and Rain pulling up. Drumgoole. Another turnover for Delaware, and we're going back the other way. Back and forth, this one going. Rain Smith can't save it, and a break for both teams.
You've got to be a track star to be able to play in this game. Up and down. Sometimes players, even though they want to force their pace, play a little bit too quickly. You want to be quick, but never hurry, Scott. And that time, I think both teams got a little too hurried.
Delaware needs a basket here, down by their largest margin. They go to Christian Ray. And Policelli took it away from him. Back-to-back turnovers for Delaware offensively. Burnham, quick spin. Took advantage of some height over Niles Lane, and Delaware thinking about perhaps a timeout down 12.
And I think they might want to get one here, if nothing else, just to break the rhythm of Charleston, who's really doing a good job of pushing the pace and getting inside. Burnham with a nice left hand there.
They're going to make some substitutions at the next whistle instead. Hauser and Trent ready to check in. Drumgoole on the release from Davis. That'll get Delaware going. And now the timeout taken by Martin Inglesby, as Delaware gets it within 10 points once again. A 9-point lead for Charleston. It's been Gerald Drumgoole leading the way. Davis found him, squaring, firing, hitting. Drumgoole's got 12. A Drumgoole three-pointer has cut the lead down to 9 for Charleston, 50-41. This isn't the only game going on in the CAA. Some important games in action for Delaware. You're now at the time of year where you root for maybe some underdogs to get wins. Fortunately for the Hens, somebody's going to lose the Hofstra-Drexel game, both of those teams ahead of Delaware in the standings.
Well, that's an important game, plus Delaware plays them on Monday night here at home, so that is instrumental. Towson looking like they're going to have a good game at home against Monmouth, who I thought might have a chance to kind of backdoor it with only 6 losses.
Back in action, Charleston with C.J. Fulton back in the game, along with James Scott up off the bench. And there's the freshman Scott, another offensive rebound. Charleston leads the CAA in that category, second in that category to Towson with over 13 per game. Another steal from Jalen Trent. He'll push the tempo. Drumgoole's had the hot hand. And now Trent trying to get the basketball to Jair Davis. Usually a good decision, but Butler took it right from him. And now Butler, kick out. Smith, step back, sets his feet, and air ball, but Policelli is there for two inside.
After not scoring in the first half, Frankie Policelli has done a really nice job defensively, rebounding, and also scoring in the right place at the right time on that air ball by Rain Smith.
He's been averaging over 14 points per game in his last 3 games, so you knew it was only a matter of time before the Stony Brook transfer got going. See if Delaware can get Jair Davis going. Back-to-back turnovers is not how to do it for number 13.
Delaware usually takes very good care of the ball, just about 10 turnovers a game.
Butler was ready to shoot, instead he'll drive. Shot strong, back tack by Scott. And that's an over the back by the freshman who stands 6'11". Jair Davis had an extended conversation with the officiating crew, perhaps about those 2 turnovers on the offensive end. They've got to get Jair Davis involved, though. He's coming off of a game where he only had 6 shots. Now, North Carolina A&T double-teamed the entry pass, made it hard to get Davis the basketball. It was the fewest shots Davis had taken in the game since his freshman year in January of 2021. And now he takes his seat, a little frustrated.
Well, when Davis is at his best, he's getting somewhere between 13 and 16 shots. He's very efficient mid-range at the basket and a few threes.
He's on the bench with only 5 shots in this one. Drumgoole takes another. Misses there. Now 3 of 8 from long range. Butler splits 2. Scott, a rare miss for an 80% shooter. But Charleston tracks down the board. Butler open for a tray ball, and he sinks it.
So it's a loose ball, but again, they just seem to be a little bit quicker as Charleston to some of those are just getting the benefit of where it bounces to. Delaware's got to be able to win more of those 50-50s.
And what a benefit for Charleston to have so many guys when there's a loose ball to have that green light from distance.
And not only that, but they're always fresh because of Kelsey's substitution patterns.
Trent draws the contact, and Jalen Trent will shoot a pair when we come back. Charleston has built up a 14-point lead thanks to plays like this. The Hens have some work to be done. Butler getting it going from long range.
Delaware Public Service Commission.
The Chevy Silverado. With available Super Cruise connected by OnStar. Only Super Cruise lets you drive hands-free and tow hands-free. It'll help you get to the adventure energized, and it'll help drive you home. Get 2.9% financing for 72 months on all 2024 Silverado 1500 models, or get $5,000 total value on this Silverado High Country when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
For over 40 years, Delaware Hospice has helped families cope with the overwhelming stress that accompanies a loved one's serious illness. Our team of compassionate experts gives you the freedom to focus on what matters most, spending time with loved ones. Our community outreach programs provide non-medical resources during a serious illness. And if you need in-home support during treatment, our palliative care team will work side by side with your physician to manage symptoms. You can count on Delaware Hospice because we're more than hospice, giving you the freedom to focus on what matters most.
A 55-41 lead for Charleston here in the second half. They led by 7 at the break. They are heating up here in the second half of this game, and certainly in the second half of this season, winners of 5 in a row.
Boy, they've been really playing well. Winners of 5 in a row and 7 of their last 8. And they've done it both at home and on the road. They are a really tough team because They can play 10 and they can play a lot of minutes. They've got good length. They can shoot the three and volume and at a pretty good percentage. They play extremely well together. And I tell you the other thing, their energy level is extremely high game to game. They really never have a letdown that way. It's the way Pat Kelsey coaches it, and his players respond for him.
And they're 20-7 on the season. They were 2 points away from losing the opener against Iona. They were 1-3 to start the year. So they are 19-4 after their slow start to the year. And Pat Kelsey has this team fresh down the stretch with a heavy rotation of guys playing solid basketball. Jalen Trent at the free throw line. He's got 7 points for Delaware. They've got a lot of work to be done coming back against a sharpshooting Charleston team. Butler in close. Ray with the block shot, but it's going to be Butler at the free throw line. Ray was unsure of it.
I've been impressed with Bryce Butler tonight. 6'5", 205. He's got a really good basketball body. Uses it, backs down, uses a fake, gets fouled from underneath. He's a graduate student in communications down at Charleston, and I'll tell you what, he's been a big addition to this team. Plays extremely hard, really fits the Pat Kelsey mode.
And Pat Kelsey, that's kind of what he's done. He's gone to the well with these Division II players, specifically from West Liberty, an All-CAA player a season ago. Dalton Bolin was a teammate of Butler there, and he's played in his 150th career game on Monday. This 151 for Butler, so he has a mix of some veterans, some grad students, and some juniors that have been here in the Charleston program for a couple of years.
Is that the definition of experience? Holy cow, that's a lot of basketball.
He gets the lead back up to 14. Tyler Hauser, more of a three-point shooter. Butler tried to get the blocking foul. No whistle, but a foul after the shot from Tyler Hauser.
The more and more basketball I watch at almost every level, it is so difficult to get a charge called. That was a big collision. To me, it should have been a block or a charge. You've just got to call something. Then it comes later on. But very physical play in there. It's good to see Tyler Hauser of Delaware back down. He's known as a three-point shooter from range, but I'll tell you what, he's got much more physical as the season's gone on. He's using that big frame. He can get where he wants, and he's a very good free throw shooter when he gets to the line. Though as a three-point shooter, as you know, you don't get there that much. You get inside and get fouled, you're going to get there more often.
6'9", 235, transferred from VMI, using his body there on the interior. Just his 13th and 14th free throws of this season. But he gets him to drop. Fulton operating, looking for his shot, missing on the runner. Only 4 points per game for Fulton, and he got his hand on the outlet pass. A turnover for Delaware, their ninth. Scott, that's what he does. Dunks and layups for the freshman.
They love to shoot the three in transition, but when they get a big man running, he's going to be rewarded. Scott with a huge dunk over the top, just running the lane and rewarded by his teammate.
Charleston taking advantage of Delaware's turnovers, and nearly another one there. They'll call Scott for the reach.
Scott's 6'11". He's from Senegal. I really like this guy. He's going to be a great player. Moves extremely well. He's not physical yet, but I'll tell you what, he is a terrific athlete. He does exactly what Pat Kelsey wants him to do, and they're in transition, runs the court, and a really fine pass. They have done a nice job with their assist to turnover ratio tonight. Charleston, they share the ball extremely well, especially in the open court.
Trent, a driver, another block from James Scott. He had 4 blocks on Monday in just 16 minutes. Now Burnham loses it. We're going the other way. Trent gets it in transition.
Again, playing a little too fast is Charleston, and Delaware taking advantage of it. That's the way they need to get back. They've got to change and get some offense out of their defense.
Rogers to Butler. A driver and a reach-in foul on Trent.
As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Delaware typically does a pretty good job of defending without fouling, but what Charleston has done is they've attacked closeouts extremely fast. Here's Jalen Trent in the open court doing what he's really good at, getting out and away. He can finish with both hands, but Charleston has driven at Delaware, created some driving lanes and also some foul situations.
Rogers sneaks it over to Berdovich. Back to the inbounder. They lost him.
And the pass by Berdovich is really important there. He gets the ball on the weak side. As the help came across, he drops it off to the out-of-bounder, and he finishes. Bertovich, one of the really better post passers, along with our Jair Davis.
Second on the team in assists on the season. What a move by Jalen Trent. And he has found once again his offense for this Delaware team. Riley, a race for the basketball. London gets it back.
Numbers at this end.
Burnham sails it long, but yet another offensive rebound, the 10th for Charleston. And a whistle as the shot clock is at 11. They're going to debate whether or not it grazed the rim and should have been reset. Officiating crew going to talk things over. It was Burnham on the three-point try. Shot clock showing 11. And they're going to discuss whether or not they want to take a look at it. Tim Smith, Jeff Clark, Michael Lucky, the officials this evening. Tim Smith going to come over and chat with us.
Tim Smith giving us the definition there. They weren't sure if it hit the rim or not, so they're going to check it, and that will determine what the shot clock should present to us.
Charleston, we know how much they like to shoot the threes. 16 on the night. They've made 6 of them. Burnham hesitates for a moment. Nice job by Trent to not allow the drive, but then Burnham fires up the three. Let's see if this touched any iron. It does. And so should be a reset on the shot clock on yet another offensive rebound for Charleston. They're not only going to look at whether or not it hit the rim, but time also on the game clock when they stopped it, making sure just everything is correct. Delaware down by 12. And Martin Inglesby coaching it up. Martin Inglesby, head coach, point guard, and pizza salesman. He was at a local pizza joint on Main Street in Newark last night, giving away slices, trying to get the fans and the community involved, and here tonight, and a good crowd for the blackout in the student section here in Newark.
I guess they were hungry the other night when Martin was there. Here we're going to get the explanation.
We had a hit on the rim. We got 14 shot clock. Okay? 14 shot clock. Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff Clark coming over. They looked at the
Our crew did a great
replay.
job there with the picture, too. We saw it perfectly. Glazed the rim, and then Bertovich was able to secure the offensive rebound on the long miss.
And they added 3 seconds to the shot clock. It's at 14 on the inbound. Berzovic pressured by Hauser and Rogers. For College of Charleston, they're just getting too many second chance opportunities, although Policelli can't knock it through. Trent putting on the burners. He's fouled. Jalen Trent has been the aggressor. We haven't seen this out of Trent since earlier in non-conference play, but if you're a Delaware fan, you've got to love it.
He's got great energy. He is so fast. Some players are fast running, but Jalen Trent is fast with the basketball, and that's a difficult proposition. What I love there, Jalen Trent realized that Charleston was slow to get back. They weren't organized defensively. He took advantage of it with some really creative drives.
I referenced earlier in the season, Trent double figures in 9 of the first 14 games of the season. He reached double figures just twice in the last 13 games coming into this one, but now back-to-back double-figure performances for Jalen Trent off the bench, as he has 11 and this one had 10 on Saturday. Delaware down by 11. 8 minutes almost into the second half. It was a 7-point lead for Charleston at the break, and Kobe Rogers is just getting to the rim. He likes to go downhill. Rogers from Cincinnati, transfer from Nova Southeastern, another D2 transplant on this Charleston team, and he loves to drive it. He's one of the only guys on the team that doesn't shoot it as much from three-point range.
Charleston must be the best D2 recruiting team in the country. I really respect Pat Kelsey and his staff for going and finding these guys. This guy was clearly under-recruited. He is explosive. He's been playing in place of Fulton, who's had some injuries the last 2 games, so Fulton has played. But I'll tell you what, he is a really fine player. His change of pace is really what makes him so explosive. Gets you to rise up as he rises up, and then he's by you with that low hip. He's been terrific here tonight.
We talk about the 2 Division II players on this team. They played one another, Rogers and Butler, in the 2023 Division II National Championship. Rogers getting the best of Butler.
Must have been quite a game
in that one, and now they're competing at practices only for Charleston. Rogers in double figures for the 10th time this year.
Well, Delaware needs to get some good shots off here. They've been driving the ball in the second half because Trent has been able to find his way down the lane.
Jair Davis, quiet night, fading away, and maybe that'll get him going.
But that's where he is maybe at his best of anybody in the NCAA. In that mid-range, he backs players down, he creates some space with the bump, he's got the fadeaway, he's got the spot up, nobody better.
That's his first 2-point make of the evening, and Rogers again.
Scott, once he gets his shoulders by, Rogers can accelerate by. He keeps his shoulders parallel to the backboard. He can finish on either side with either hand.
We talk about all the three-point shooting that Charleston does, and it has been a factor, but Kobe Rogers getting in the paint on dribble drives has been a difference maker as well. Lane in the corner, Riley, good close out by Smith, not allowing him to get it off. Lane's got it under 10. Davis from the mid-range on back-to-back possession.
I love the decision there. Play to where you're strong. We really needed a score at that point.
London left alone, and he gets 3 more for Charleston.
If you don't get back in an unbelievable hurry, they're going to skip the ball. They love to pass it down the floor as well as dribble it. A great find in the far corner. They're doing a really nice job, Scott, of sharing the ball.
His second make from 3-point range. And now Davis, he's scored on the last 2 possessions for Delaware. Can't make it 3, spinning out. Lane, the aggressor on the offensive glass.
Why, I love the aggressiveness of Jair Davis to get into the mid-range, and then Niles Lane did a great job of getting in between 3 Charleston players to secure that offensive rebound and finish.
Henzo trading baskets. They've got to start getting stops as we approach the halfway point of the second half. Rogers, how many times have we called his name? That time scoring in traffic, sending us to a break, and Charleston going to be able to add 1 more from the line when we come back. The Cougars outscoring Delaware 26-19 thanks to shots like that in the second frame. Charleston sharing the basketball. The last assist went to Kobe Rogers, who was fouled as we went to break. He is having quite the night here in Newark. 14 points on 5 of 8.
The 6'3" junior from Cincinnati, Ohio, a finalist for Mr. Ohio basketball, just moves so well without the ball. He's got a great burst. He can finish through contact. A really fine pass there by Ante Berzovic, who, as I mentioned, is a really good passer. They use the bounce pass as well as anybody in the CAA.
Last game on Monday against William & Mary, Rogers had a season-high 27 minutes. He had 12 points in that one, 14 points tonight to lead Charleston, and he started for the first time in league play on Monday. C.J. Fulton been dealing with some injuries, the point guard for this team, and Kobe Rogers stepping right in, and that's something that Pat Kelsey can do. As Rogers misses for the first time from the free throw line, is just work guys in and out, as he does that regularly during a basketball game anyway.
I don't know how he keeps track of all his substitution patterning, but he does a really good job. He may have an assistant that's actually responsible for that. And it's really fun to watch a team that facilitates so many different players and they play together so well. And a lot of times that throws rhythm off of teams when you're substituting a lot. But I think it makes it as much pressure on the defense because they've got to adjust to the different combinations and remember the scouting report.
Drumgoole, leading scorer for Delaware. Davis on the attack.
He so infrequently puts it on the floor and drives it. He's just so comfortable in the mid-range, but when he gets in there, he is explosive and did a great job of getting to his left shoulder, right hand.
James Scott on the other end. You talk about explosion, explosiveness from James Scott.
I want to apologize. I misidentified where Scott's from. He's from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and I tell you what, he's a heck of an athlete, this young man.
So is Jair Davis, but he couldn't get that one to go off the spin from the free throw line. Fulton getting on the act.
Fulton not known for his scoring, 4.5 assist to turnover ratio as a passer, but I'll tell you what, he has a beautiful looking stroke and maybe getting a chance to watch the game a little bit more when Rogers starts for him, working through that lower body injury.
Right, only 10 minutes on Monday, so he's fresh. Drumgoole, shot rejected as Policelli came over to help. It'll stay Delaware basketball, 7 on the timer.
Policelli not known for his defense, but I'll tell you what, he is very mobile down there here. And here's Fulton going left. He knows Scott's wide open with that rim protection on the right side. A perfect lob. Scott in unison with Fulton. I'm sure they do that a lot in practice.
Scott with the dunk there. That's typically what they draw up for him. He's missed a shot in only one game since January 4th. Prior to this one, he has a miss against the Blue Hens, but typically 1 of 1, 2 of 2 type of box scores for the freshman. Butler to left hand, leaves it short. Christian Ray, his 9th rebound, leads the CAA in that category, averaging 9 per game.
Delaware needs to get a good look here. Kevin Riley missed that one from long range on the left side the prior possession.
Late whistle there as Butler reached in. 7th on Charleston, so should be free throws for Gerald Drumgoole, or perhaps a 1-and-1. Depends if they say he's in the act to shoot.
Well, Gerald is really difficult to guard because if you close him out too aggressively, he's going to put it on the floor and attack, and he can get to the rim in a variety of ways, but his long-range shooting has been so good. There's special attention to closing him out rapidly. He took advantage of it there and put the ball on the floor and drew the foul.
Drumgoole's got 13 after that make, averaging 13.9 on the season, 2nd leading scorer. He's brought his average up in league play, and especially over the last couple of games. He had 47 points last week against Elon and North Carolina A&T.
Well, what a great job on the road, and a lot of players bring their game at home, but to be able to go on the road in hostile environments and score that much shows you the maturity and the offensive prowess of Gerald Drumgoole.
Jordan Crawford, big step back there. And it'll be Delaware basketball as Charleston continues to crash the boards, but couldn't grab that offensive rebound. A little under 8 minutes left to go on this one. Martin Inglesby looking at the clipboard, trying to draw something up for the Hens to get back in it. They've got to protect that painted area. James Scott with the hammer.
Hey, grab me one too.
There are trucks
And then there's the GMC Sierra, available with the connected driving experience. And the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get 2.9% APR for 72 months on select Sierra 1500 models. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra models.
Why choose Del One? 1 out of every 11 Delaware residents is a part of the Del One family. Rooted in Delaware, community-driven, Del One strives to be an active part of Delaware neighborhoods and organizations. To this day, the Del One Foundation has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for countless local charities, and our commitment continues. Choose Del One, and let's grow together.
With artificial intelligence, groundbreaking transparent hood technology, and intuitive design inside and out, this is the all-new GLC, completely reimagined.
Charleston playing at a high level. Taylor Swift not having much to cheer about for the Blue Hens right now in the second half, as Charleston outscoring the Hens by 9 in the second frame. Here's the upcoming Delaware basketball schedule presented by Dart. Dart is keeping you moving forward. Big game on Monday. Hens get a Saturday off and will host rival Drexel on Monday night. Then Northeastern and a trip to Long Island to close out the regular season. After that, it's all leading up to the CAA tournament, which starts on March 8th. In Washington, D.C., the Hens hoping they won't start until the 10th, but they've got some work to do if they want that to happen. Down 15 against the first place Cougars. Shimmy move, Davis, so good.
And that's a 6'10" player with a long arm outreach. He's able to shoot over because of the space he creates, the quickness of his release, and the confidence he has in the mid-range.
He's got 8 in the second half, does Davis. Hens have to start putting together some stops, not easy to do. Bertovic thought maybe they got him for steps, but it's going to be a foul on Christian Ray.
Well, Christian Ray was trying to do a job where he kind of pulls himself away at the end to create a walk, and unfortunately he couldn't separate his body soon enough. Bertovic is really a smart player. I love the tempo that he plays at, never out of control, knows exactly what he wants to do when he puts the ball on the floor.
6 foul on Delaware. They lost Burnham on the entry.
And this is an out-of-bounds play that Coach Robinson, who had the scout tonight, went over. And Delaware got confused on their switching. Charleston takes advantage of it.
A couple times Delaware has lost players.
Yes, they
on
have.
An inbound play. Kobe Rogers got one earlier, and now Davis going to take on Berzovic once again. Jair looking for the foul call, didn't get it. Christian Ray upset that he thought maybe he was held on to, trying to go for the offensive rebound, but Delaware keeps playing.
I think these officials kind of let him play tonight. It's been pretty physical inside and outside.
Berzovic. And now Lane, the Florida transfer, trying to get things going. Drumgoole. Out to Davis. He'll try again from 3. He's missed 4 in a row after making his first. And that's not typically what he does. 16 of 61 coming into the day. That's 26% from 3. Did make his first, but has been off the mark since. Delaware shooting just 5 of 17 from long range. Charleston 8 of 20 on the night.
And they've been helping off of Jair when he's spaced at the 3. That gives him an additional player in the lane. He's wide open. It's a shot he probably feels like he can make, but I look for him maybe to drive it from there the next time.
Driving it this time. On the shot blocker, Scott. Back taps, Drumgoole's there. Now Lane, his shot blocked with some health defense from the freshman James Scott. Lob on the other end. And a foul going to be called on Gerald Drumgoole. Smith trying to throw it up once again for Scott. And I like this youngster. Hens fans and viewers probably not loving what he's doing against Delaware, but Smith throwing it up to him, and He runs the floor well. He's a good defender. He's tall. He has great length, and he's going to be a problem in the CAA, just a rookie.
At 6'11", I can't believe how quickly he runs the court. Now, he's not carrying a lot of weight, but I'll tell you what, he is an athlete. He's in great shape. Again, that's the conditioning that Charleston puts their players through. They really want to play this up-tempo game and consistently do it throughout the game. They very rarely walk it up.
Only a 27% free throw shooter in league play, and that's the kind of night it's been for Delaware. Of course, he makes the first.
Well, he's going to mature very quickly in this system because he's going to get to play a lot more than some other big men, and he's able to play through some of their mistakes because of the tempo that they play.
Scott typically doesn't score a whole lot, 4.5 points per game, but up in double figures tonight against Delaware. Missing the second free throw. It'll stay Charleston basketball. They are so active on the glass.
Not only are they active physically and getting their bodies in the right spot, but they're really good at back tapping. They just try to get their hands on it, deflect it. They have all that energy. They're going to run around and try to secure the rebounds. They've gotten their hands on a lot of rebounds. Even though they haven't secured them, they tip them out to teammates.
Top 25 nationally in both total rebounds and offensive rebounds per game, and we're seeing just why tonight. Smith has been held under his average with the basketball now. Scott again, this time with the poster.
What a find by Rain Smith, but the reason was because the help had to rotate to Smith, and that allowed Scott to come down the lane. Boy, I tell you what, he rises up so quickly off the floor. He's got great hands for a young big man.
Trent trying to shake off Butler, can't do it. Missing Ray, an offensive board. He's fouled. And for James Scott, closing in on a season high, 14. He scored twice. He's got 13 tonight.
And on that picture, if you're going to rotate your big man off of Scott, someone from the weak side has to get in the lane to impede the progress or steal the ball. Delaware a little late rotating there. That allowed Scott to get free down the middle of the lane.
Scott had not scored double figures in league play. First time in CAA action he gets in double figures. Now Christian Ray at the stripe for the 1-1. Makes the first. C-Ray, 66% on the year. 36 points, 30 rebounds over his last 3 games. Coming to this one 2 times double-double. You can see his line. 2 points and 1 rebound away from another double-double.
Well, you know you're always going to get a great effort from Christian Ray. He plays so hard, so intelligently. He's one of the great leaders that I've seen around here in a long time.
Rogers, another assist from Berzovic, and another point in the paint for Kobe Rogers.
Rogers really smart, did a little bit of a change of pace and then the burst.
Drumgoole on the other end, a quick 3, can't get it to go, and this has not been the night Delaware was hoping for against the reigning champs.
Well, they took advantage of Delaware early on by driving the ball instead of shooting the 3, and their high percentages a result of that.
Berzovic, another assist. Berzovic finding Kobe Rogers every chance he gets, and Charleston pouring it on right now. Martin Inglesby not pleased. He'll talk to his squad. On the other end, though, you can see the excitement from Charleston. And they're playing like a team that is defending their CAA championship. Look at Berzovic here, finding Rogers on the cut.
Well, if you're going to guard a man out at the 3, you better have the quickness to get in when he back cuts you. And there was no help again in the lane again because Delaware is working themselves out to take away the 3. Berzovic is so skilled inside. He's got a great bounce pass, great timing on that. This team is playing about as well as they have all season long. This burst in the second half, very impressive by Charleston.
It's a 20-point advantage for Charleston, looking every bit of the #1 seed as we head into the final week of the regular season. Coming up on the CAA Men's Basketball Championship, brought to you by Jersey Mike. Tickets are on sale at casports.com/MBB. Washington, D.C., the host city. Delaware's won it there. Charleston's won it there. And Delaware looking like they're going to drop to 9-6 on the season, and it's going to get harder and harder to make up ground with only 3 games left.
Well, it's going to make that game on Monday against Drexel, depending on the outcome of there, is really important. You've not only got to defend your home court, but you've got to beat somebody ahead of you in the standings. Charleston playing like the #1 seed right now. They took advantage of what Delaware is giving them, and that's lanes to drive, and they've been really explosive that way. Rogers has been fantastic here this evening. His teammates know it. They're looking for him, and this is going to be a really tough team to beat because of the way they play together, their substitution patterns, and their ability to shoot the three.
Riley missing. Another rebound for Ray. He's in double figures there. 10 rebounds for Christian Ray, and Delaware continues to struggle on the offensive end. If you're Charleston and you're trying to defend and beat this team, it's just fresh leg, fresh body after fresh body, and not a drop-off talent-wise when Pat Kelsey's able to sub in, going 10 deep.
Well, everybody scored that's played for Charleston, and that's 10 players, and they share the ball extremely well. I thought their defense was sharper tonight than it's been in the past.
Unbelievable. The rim helping Delaware out there because another great entry from Berzovic to Rogers. Stop me if you heard that one before. Hauser has it now, and Rogers gets the steal. Tug on the jersey from Gerald Drumgoole.
That's going to be 10 steals. This is a team that only averages 5 steals, and they've got 10 already. That tells you they were really engaged tonight defensively, out in passing lanes, first to the floor for some loose balls. They've just been very sharp here tonight.
An intentional foul. Gerald Drumgoole, you can't grab a player from behind. That was pretty obvious with the tug of the jersey, sending Kobe Rogers to the free throw line. He's averaged 12 points per game in his last 11. He averaged only 6.5 points per game the first 12 games of the season, so he's coming on. He can get to 20 here at the free throw line. Does miss the first, though. Rogers, a 6'3 junior, leading Charleston in scoring with 18, but 3 others in double figures. Misses them both. So there's a win at least for the fans in attendance. As you can see, Drumgoole with the tug. When a player misses 2 in a row, that's free cheesesteak egg rolls at Klondike Kate's on Main Street. So although the fans might not be going home with a victory, they'll be going home with a ticket stub good for some cheesesteak egg rolls. It's the small things, Bill. Small wins.
Well, you're always a guy that sees the silver lining no matter what, Scott. That's your great optimism.
With the Hens down 20, I'm digging deep to find it, and now 22.
Again, they take advantage of the open lane, the lack of a shot blocker for Delaware or a shot effector, and they've been just really sharp tonight, taking advantage of Delaware's deficiencies defensively.
And a foul by Butler will bring us to our final timeout. A frustrating night for the Delaware Blue Hens, playing against the reigning CAA champions and just could not get it done. 3:38 before it's official, 85-63. Not the night the Blue Hens were hoping for. Back at the Bob Carpenter Center after a 2-game road trip to North Carolina. Delaware coming to this one winning 5 of their last 6, but Charleston going to win their 6th in a row. Other games around the CAA. Hofstra holding it down at home against Drexel, Delaware's next opponent, and then UNCW, the team that's in second place in the CAA standings. They're going to stay in second place. They've beaten Charleston twice, taking the season series so far.
Well, the way this game's going, it's going to be imperative that Delaware comes out and really gets themselves ready to play their best game of the year against Drexel on Monday night. Towson bouncing back from that loss at Hampton, who had not won in the CAA, gets a nice win themselves over Monmouth, who I thought might be a dark horse to sneak in if everything worked for them. Towson took care of business.
Kobe Jerome enters into the game for Delaware. Jerome has played in only 4 games in 14 minutes in CAA play. He's defending the ball. Transfer from UC Riverside. Younger brother of Ty Jerome, who won a 2019 NCAA championship at Virginia, now in the NBA.
Excellent defense by Christian Ray. They're doing a nice job on Burnham, who is really one of their spark plugs. He's been held down only 11, but had to work very hard for his points tonight.
Peterson, Jerome, even Hauser getting some extra minutes there, and Peterson not making the most of them. Turns it over, and it's been one of those nights for Delaware as Pat Kelsey going to get some substitutions into the ball game. As he gets some subs into the game, I want to just say a big thank you to the Jet Media crew that we've worked with all season long. Bill, you and I love working with those guys. Ryan Doyle, our engineer, Mike Bruno, Kit Jackson, William Roman, and Sam Giovanello on camera, John Seeger on replays, Joe Giamatti on graphics, and our guy Danny Eileen all season long on camera, and of course Frank LaSquadro, our director. They do such an amazing job, and we are privileged to work with such a great crew.
One of my favorite times is pre-game to get a chance to talk to Frank. He's got a son at Auburn. We really have some great chats. He's very knowledgeable about basketball, and even saw him make a mid-range jumper. Before you got here, Scott, looked like Jair Davis.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's watching Jair Davis. Not tonight, though, for the Hens. The Hens, unfortunately, just didn't have it this evening as Ray goes to the free throw line. And for Delaware, this is a veteran crew. They have 2 extra days now, not playing on Saturday, to get ready for Drexel and finish this season out strong. They'll have 3 games next week, the final week of the season, as they'll go Drexel, Northeastern on Thursday, and then Stony Brook on the road on Saturday. A disappointing game here against Charleston as C. Ray will check out with a double-double. But Coach Inglesby will have this team back on track by Monday night.
Well, nobody does a better job of analyzing the film than Martin and his staff. They make really good corrections. They'll run some good practices. They'll heal up from this game. I think they took maybe Charleston's best shot of the season overall. They played very well at both ends, did Charleston.
Kobe Jerome, he made 6 threes in this building against Goldie Beacom in game number 2 of the season. He's not been shooting it as well since. And how about that? Up off the bench and wasting no time, Mayar Wohl with a 3, adding to the total. That's 9 triples on the night for Charleston.
Heavily recruited from Raleigh, North Carolina, the freshman. I'll tell you what, he's got some game.
Jerome played a bit more in non-conference play, has not been a part of the conference rotation, but certainly a great shooter, great bloodline. Peterson sneaking in, and he's been earning more and more minutes. He's had some battles with injury. His senior season was taken away due to COVID. Then he was behind some players on that championship team, injured in game 1 last season and working his way back. Kevin Riley continues to stay a bit cold from 3-point range. And 2 players getting tied up. No whistle. They are letting them go here with 1:10 left to play. As Hauser gets himself a dunk. It's going to be too little, too late for Delaware as Charleston, they can score it. 80 on the season, 10 over their average.
Scott, this is the 5th time Charleston has gone for 90 points or more in the season.
And they've just had Delaware's number since joining the CAA, really. Delaware now is going to lose 14 of their last 17 games against Charleston, 4 in a row for the Cougars, but that 14 losses in 17 games against Charleston dates back to the 2016 CAA tournament. Long three for Jerome off the mark, and Charleston's going to win game number 21 on the year.
Well, they certainly deserved it tonight. They were quicker to the loose balls. They rebounded well. I thought the 11 steals really told you a lot about their game. Didn't shoot as many threes, only took 22 tonight, but they had a great effort from Rogers. He was terrific, starting in place of C.J. Fulton. 8 for 12 from the field, 4 for 7, 20 points. He had 4 steals himself. I thought he was terrific, dynamic, especially getting to the basket.
Charleston looked like the #1 team in the conference. They'll improve to 12-3 in the CAA. Our player of the game is brought to you by Delaware Orthopedic Specialists, where specialty care matters. It's Kobe Rogers, as you mentioned, starting for the second game in a row, 20 points. And when we talk about everything that Charleston does beyond the arc, it was Rogers getting downhill early on, setting the tone for the Cougars.
They were sharp. They took advantage of the deficiencies of Delaware's defense. Rogers really exposed them with some great drives early on that opened it up for other teammates. And I thought Charleston played a terrific game, Scott.
Delaware now 9-6 in the CAA on the season. They will remain in 6th place. And now we'll say goodnight as Charleston comes into Newark and dominates over the Blue Hens. A big thanks to our producer, Frank LaSquadro, and the entire Jet Media crew. It's been a fun season bringing you televised coverage of Delaware basketball on the Blue Hens Sports Network. Once again, final score on this one, Charleston 90, Delaware 71. For Bill Harmon, I'm Scott Klatskin. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Hens!